The Sahara, more than just a pile of sand. The Sahara Desert isn't just a vast, sun-scorched wasteland. It's a time capsule, a cryptic puzzle, and a full-blown historical drama rolled into one. Covering an area roughly the size of the entire United States, this colossal sandbox has seen civilizations rise and fall, climates flip like a bad poker hand, and secrets buried so deep even Indiana Jones would throw in the towel. From its days as a lush, animal-packed paradise to its current reign as the ultimate survival challenge. The Sahara holds mysteries that baffle scientists, thrill adventurers, and occasionally make us wonder. What else is hiding under all that sand? So grab your metaphorical explorer's hat and maybe a canteen of water as we dive into the top 10 totally bonkers mysteries of the Sahara Desert. Where every dune has a story, and every rock might just be an ancient meme. You're standing on a geographical mummy spanning 9.2 million square kilometers, larger than the United States. Each grain of sand here is a slow-motion film reel of 7 million years of history. The Harmattan wind blows 160 days a year, carrying 60 million tons of dust across the Atlantic Ocean. Beneath your feet lies the Nubian sandstone aquifer system, holding 150,000 cubic kilometers of water, enough to supply humanity for 500 years. In 2021, radar detected 3 underground lakes covering 2,000 square kilometers in Algeria. A record temperature of 58 degrees Celsius in Azizia, Libya, can boil an egg in 20 minutes. The Erg Chebi sand dunes, rising 150 meters like a 50-story building, shift 5 meters per year. The Eye of the Sahara, the Richat structure, 50 kilometers wide, looks like a cosmic bullet mark from space. In 1930, pilot Antoine de Saint-Exupéry described the Sahara as the kingdom of deadly silence. But in truth, each square kilometer of sand holds 1.5 tons of ancient bacteria still alive today. Sahara sand glows green under a microscope due to a unique silicon alloy. Nights in the desert can drop to -5 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze a cactus. 45% of Sahara's sand is quartz, a potential source for future computer chips. Hayboob sandstorms, 1.5 kilometers high, can swallow cities in 3 hours. In 2018, Google's AI identified 1,800 ancient tombs from satellite imagery, still unexcavated. Fossilized sea snails prove the Sahara was once the floor of an ancient ocean. A 7,000-year-old human footprint is preserved in petrified mud in Niger. The Tassili uranium mine provides 20% of France's nuclear energy. Sand dunes multiply as the wind moves 400,000 tons of sand per day from dry riverbeds. At point zero, Libya, it's so silent you can hear your own heartbeat. 92% of the Sahara remains unexplored, larger than the Amazon. In 2023, drones discovered 12 mysterious breathing holes, perhaps entrances to cave systems. Rare sandquakes produce sounds like war drums. The Ubari Oasis, Libya, contains salt lakes 5 times saltier than the Dead Sea. Egypt's Black Desert is covered in volcanic rock, resembling the surface of the moon. 0.001% of Sahara's bacteria contain DNA never before seen on Earth. In 1984, the Space Shuttle Challenger photographed a 500-kilometer-long ghost river from space. Desert varnish, black and mirror-like, coats rocks, a window through time. Every Sahara sandstorm blows 2 million tons of minerals into the Amazon rainforest. The Sahara is not dead, it's sleeping, and its dream is a green paradise. Here, time stands still. Here, the golden sands whisper ancient tales never heard by human ears. The Sahara, the largest desert on Earth, sprawling nearly 9 million square kilometers, as vast as the entire United States, is not just a barren land. It is a parallel world where mysteries lie hidden beneath the dunes. Imagine this. Every grain of sand beneath your feet has existed for millions of years. They were once the floor of deep oceans, watched dinosaurs roam, and bore witness to the rise and fall of magnificent civilizations. Now, they murmur these forgotten stories in the desert wind. Sahara was not always a desert. Ten 10,000 years ago, it was a lush paradise of flowing rivers, crystal lakes, and sweeping grasslands. Ancient cave paintings still depict elephants, hippos, and crocodiles that once thrived here. What force transformed Eden into a furnace of sand? The sun in the Sahara does not merely shine, it scorches. Daytime temperatures can soar to 58 degrees Celsius, hot enough to cook an egg on the sand. But by nightfall, the mercury may plunge below freezing. This extreme contrast conjures strange phenomena: singing sands, shimmering mirages, and haunting whispers in the dark. The dunes here can tower up to 180 meters, taller than the Eiffel Tower. They move like living creatures, crawling up to 30 meters a year, swallowing villages and ancient cities alike. Some dunes have devoured priceless archaeological relics, hiding them in silence for centuries. The Sahara breathes. Each year, it exhales 182 million tons of dust, which drifts across the Atlantic to nourish the Amazon rainforest. Without Sahara's dust, the Amazon would starve from lack of phosphorus. Who could imagine that the driest desert feeds the luscious jungle? Beneath the Sahara lies a hidden ocean, the Nubian Sandstone Aquifer, holding enough fresh water to supply the entire planet for 5,000 years. Ancient maps from the 16th century mark ghostly rivers flowing under the sand. Did our ancestors know what science only recently discovered? The Sahara shines from space. Satellite images reveal it gleaming like a colossal diamond across the dark continent. At night, far from the glow of cities, the Sahara sky reveals up to 2,500 visible stars, 5 times more than in any urban skyline. Sahara sandstorms are no joke. They can rise 3 kilometers high, stretch 300 kilometers wide, and barrel through the land at 50 kilometers per hour. The Arabs call them haboob, the mad winds. When the haboob strikes, the sky turns blood red, the sun disappears, and the world plunges into a doomsday darkness. The Risha structure, known as the Eye of the Sahara, spans 50 kilometers and dates back millions of years. Some believe it is the lost city of Atlantis. Sounds in the Sahara can kill not through noise, but by their absence. It is one of the quietest places on Earth, with noise levels dropping to just 15 decibels. So silent, you can hear your own heartbeat. This silence can trigger hallucinations, paranoia, and madness. Saharan sand isn't only golden. There are dunes of blood red, coal black, snow white, and even soft pink. Each color tells a different geological tale, from oxidized iron to titanium to pure quartz. Desert winds carry ancient secrets. Fragments of the oldest meteorites ever discovered on Earth lie buried in the Sahara, some older than our planet. A few of these even came from Mars, possibly carrying alien microbes. The Sahara can be seen from the moon. It's the only terrestrial feature clearly visible from 384,000 kilometers away, without a telescope. Could it be a cosmic signal for civilizations beyond Earth? Saharan sand can reach temperatures of 80 degrees Celsius, hot enough to boil an egg. Yet just 2 meters above the ground, the temperature may drop by 30 degrees Celsius. This difference creates mini dust tornadoes and bizarre mirages. The Sahara is devouring the world. Each year, it expands by 48 kilometers southward, swallowing farmland and villages. In the last 50 years, it has grown by 10%, an area the size of France. Will all of North Africa one day be desert? Beneath its sands lie buried cities. Garama, the once glorious capital of the Garamantes Empire, thrived with an intricate irrigation system. Now, it sleeps under tons of sand, waiting for brave archaeologists to awaken it. The Sahara has sand glaciers, These are rivers of sand that flow like water, carving strange valleys and canyons. This phenomenon occurs when moist sand meets steady, directional winds. Moonlight in the Sahara is bright enough to read by. With air so clear and no light pollution, the moon shines like a silver sun. The Tuareg can travel and work by moonlight as if it were day. The Sahara holds Earth's climate history. Its layers of sand are like pages in a giant book, recording volcanic eruptions, meteor strikes, and shifting weather patterns. It is the planet's greatest natural climate archive. The Sahara's sand can sing. When wind sweeps across specific dunes, they emit strange noises, from buzzing like bees to roaring like lions. Locals say these are the voices of ancient spirits trapped in the sand. The desert grows stone flowers. These are salt and gypsum crystals formed under unique desert conditions, shaped into exquisite natural sculptures. Rain in the Sahara is a rare miracle. Some regions go 5 to 10 years without a single drop. But when it rains, waterfalls erupt, and the desert blooms into a field of wildflowers for just a few days. The Sahara has natural airplanes. These are flat stones, sculpted by wind and sand into aerodynamic wings that can glide for kilometers in strong storms. Its magnetic field hides secrets. In some regions, the magnetic forces are 100 times stronger than usual, confusing compasses and sparking strange electromagnetic phenomena. The Sahara is Earth's largest meteorite graveyard. The dry air and lack of erosion preserve space rocks for millions of years. Some are worth more than gold. Saharan sand travels unpredictably. Some grains leap 1,000 kilometers during a single storm. Others lie still for millennia. This chaotic movement creates patterns only visible from space. The Sahara holds ghost cities made of salt. These are wind and rain-carved structures that resemble castles, towers, and walls, as if built by phantom architects. Saharan fog can save lives. Though rare, it holds enough moisture to sustain life. Some animals and plants have evolved to harvest water from it. The Sahara has natural sand tunnels. These are cave-like systems carved by wind in giant dunes, forming vast underground labyrinths. Its atmospheric pressure can shift suddenly. The temperature contrast can cause violent air currents and spontaneous desert storms. When your feet touch the ground in Merzouga, Morocco, the first thing you feel is the dry air that immediately cracks your lips. The 45 degrees Celsius midday heat is no joke. It feels like a giant oven enveloping everything. The journey begins with a camel ride, and honestly, it's not as romantic as in the movies. Camels have a distinctive smell. They like to spit, and sitting on their backs makes you feel like you're on a giant rocking chair. But as the camel caravan starts moving into the desert, a magical feeling begins to emerge. Sahara's sand isn't just a single shade of yellow. When sunlight hits, you'll see hues ranging from pale yellow to deep orange, even areas of rust-red sand. Each step sinks deep into the soft sand, creating a distinctive swoosh sound. Surprisingly, the sand is hot enough to burn your feet. Even with sneakers, you can feel the sand's heat through the soles. At noon, sitting directly on the sand is impossible. It's as hot as glowing coals. The silence in the Sahara is truly audible. No birds chirping, no insects buzzing, not even the sound of wind. Only your heartbeat and your own breathing. This silence is both serene and slightly eerie. Thirst comes on unexpectedly fast. Even with ample water prepared, after 2 hours of walking in the desert, your throat feels like sandpaper. Warm water in a plastic bottle becomes the most precious thing in the world at that moment. The dunes in Erg Chebi are taller than a 15-story building. Climbing to the top of a dune is a real challenge. Each step up, you slide half a step down. The sand sinks up to your ankles, making movement extremely exhausting. But when you reach the dune's summit, the view makes you forget all the fatigue. Golden sand stretches to the horizon, forming soft curves like a painting. A gentle breeze blows, creating small ripples on the sand surface. Mirages truly exist. In the scorching midday heat, you'll see shimmering lakes in the distance, but as you approach, they vanish. This phenomenon occurs repeatedly, making you start to doubt your own eyes. Sunset in the Sahara is the most magical moment. The sun, like a giant fireball, slowly sinks below the horizon. The entire desert shifts from yellow to orange, then red, then purple. The temperature drops suddenly from 45 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius in just 30 minutes. Night in the desert is surprisingly cold. Temperatures can drop to 5 degrees Celsius, and you'll need a thick jacket. The temperature difference between day and night is something your body needs time to adjust to. The Sahara night sky is the most wondrous sight the human eye can witness. Without light pollution, you can see thousands of stars, the Milky Way clearly like a white silk ribbon, and even moving satellites. Sleeping in a Berber tent in the middle of the desert is an unforgettable experience. The wind blowing through the sand creates a special lullaby. But in the early morning, the tent will be damp with dew, a surprising thing in the world's driest place. Hunger comes quickly when you're active in the desert. Your body burns energy twice as fast as usual. Simple meals like bread and dates become a sumptuous feast. The feeling of being lost in the desert is truly frightening. When you move just 200 meters away from the campsite, looking back, you can't see the tents anymore. Every direction looks the same, just sand and more sand. Desert winds carry sand everywhere. Even if you're fully covered, sand still gets into your eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. After a day, you'll find sand in your pockets, shoes, even your phone. The sand's temperature can actually cook an egg. The guide experimented by baking bread on the sand at noon, and it was fully cooked after 10 minutes. The desert has a distinctive smell, dry but clean, like the scent of hot stones and metal. No rotting or musty odors, just a pure, dry scent. Finding animal footprints in the sand is fascinating. You can see tracks of lizards, snakes, even desert foxes. These traces tell stories of secret desert life. Sound travels very far in the desert. Normal conversation can be heard from hundreds of meters away. This makes conversations feel strange, as if someone is eavesdropping. Sand can actually sing. When sliding down a steep dune, friction creates a whooshing sound like a jet engine. This phenomenon surprises many people the first time they hear it. Taking photos in the desert is harder than expected. The light is too strong, causing overexposed photos, and sand constantly gets into the lens. The camera becomes so hot it's hard to hold. The solitude in the desert is both scary and liberating. No phone signal, no internet, just you and nature. This forces you to live in the present. Water in the desert becomes more precious than gold. Every drop is cherished, and drinking a sip of cool water is an incredible joy. Skin burns very quickly, even with sunscreen applied. UV rays reflected from the sand attack from all directions. After a day, your face turns as red as a boiled shrimp. Going to the bathroom in the desert becomes an art. You have to find a spot behind a dune, be careful of blowing sand, and always remember to bring toilet paper. The feeling of being tiny before nature is truly overwhelming. Standing in the vast desert, you feel like a grain of sand in the universe. This is the deepest lesson in humility. Sunset colors change every minute. From yellow to orange, then red, purple, and finally deep blue. Each minute is a different painting, making it impossible to look away. Laughter echoes strangely in the desert. It seems amplified and prolonged, creating a surreal sound effect. Estimating distance becomes meaningless. A dune that looks close might actually be 2 kilometers away. Your eyes are constantly deceived by the desert's vastness and uniformity. Small stones are as hot as glowing coals. They absorb the sun's heat and can burn your hand when touched. This is why desert animals often sleep during the day and are active at night. Wind blows sand into your face like needles. Tiny sand particles, when blown at high speed, can cause pain and discomfort. A face scarf is an essential item. Light changes rapidly. When the sun sets, the desert plunges into darkness in just 15 minutes. There's no prolonged twilight like in the city. Time feels slower in the desert. An hour feels like a day. Perhaps because there are no familiar time markers like vehicles or city noise. Shooting stars constantly appear in the night sky. In an hour of observation, you might see 5 to 6 shooting stars, making wishing a frequent activity. Sand getting into food is unavoidable. Every meal has a special sand seasoning. This makes eating a test of patience. Navigating the desert relies entirely on GPS and local guides. Every direction looks the same, with no landmarks for orientation. Morning fog in the desert is a strange phenomenon. Humidity accumulates overnight, forming a thin fog, making the desert look like a fairy tale. Washing your face with warm water in the desert becomes a great happiness. The last drops of water in the bottle are treasured like diamonds. The clean feeling of desert air is very special. No city dust, car exhaust, or industrial smells. Just dry and fresh air. Sudden gusts of wind can blow everything away. Hats, scarves, even small bags can disappear in an instant. All items must be securely fastened. The feeling of absolute freedom can only be experienced in the desert. No fences, no boundaries. You can go in any direction. This is true freedom.